Now we have arrived at another topic, National Achievement Survey. Why this was in news? Because the Ministry of Education, which was earlier Ministry of HRD, Human Resources Development, now it is Ministry of Education. And we know that the National Education Policy NEP 2020 has also been brought into the country, and it is effectively implemented. National Achievement Survey is a specific survey designed to assess the health of school education in India. Okay, and it is done by the Ministry of Education. CBSE, Central Board of Secondary Education, designs a questionnaire, and NCERT designs the framework for this survey. Okay, the report of that survey was released. It is a triennial survey. Triennial survey means it is conducted every 3 years. Last time it was held in 2017 and then 2021 about making assessment of 2020 up to 2020. After 3 years means 17, 18, 17 was 18, 19, 20 and 20 was 21. Okay. So these are the major headlines that a lot of newspapers covered, and that is why I have taken it. NAS, Punjab schools outshine Delhi in survey released by Education Ministry. That is the first headline taken from Indian Express. Another Indian Express news says that across classes, subject, COVID hits school scores. Across class, subject, COVID hits school score. That means the performance across the classes and across the subjects has been hit by the COVID. Okay. 80% students found remote learning burdensome and missed peers, says the survey as reported by the Hindu. Now, major takeaway from NAS is of these, it is about Delhi. It is about Delhi only. We need not. The total students that were taken, the sample space for this survey was 34 lakh students. Okay, out of which majority of like 30, like this is the profile for Delhi. We need to look upon these facts. Okay, so education was earlier in the state list. Now it has been moved to concurrent list through 42nd Amendment Act 1976. The 86th Amendment in 2002 made education a fundamental right under Article 21A, and then right to education came in 2009. These are the important facts regarding education in India. The primary education basically. Okay. So one important point is that education is under what? Education is under concurrent list. It is the largest sample based survey. 34 lakh students were assessed across 720 districts of India. Okay, and it is undertaken by Ministry of Education. As I already told, this Central Board of Secondary Education conducted this NAS, and the framework for making this assessment was prepared by NCERT. Okay, it provides system level reflection of the effectiveness of education. System level means ki how is the education system working at the grassroots? What are the outcomes of the education that we are providing? Okay, it was taken over government aided and non-aided private schools as well. So matlab almost all kind of schools were covered into this. Now, whenever you are making assessment of school education, some things need to be like understood at the beginning. The first one is there are 3 major assessments up to primary and secondary level. Okay? Primary and secondary level pe jo major assessments are the comprehension skills of the child, that is language, understanding of the language. If the child is able to make if the child is able to understand the comprehension means any passage, for example. Okay, that is called comprehension skills. The second one is the mathematical and analytical skills. Okay, that are judged by specific mathematical questions, basically sum division up to primary level and some basic algebra up to secondary level. The third important is science, understanding of science. These 3 assessments are done. Basically science is not done at primary level. Analytical in the sense mathematics, numbers, division, multiplication, all these assessment, and language, because these are the 2 things that are very important to be provided at the very early stage of education. Okay. Now, NAS 2022 21 was conducted in 22 languages of instructions. Okay, there's a lot of literature, and there's a lot of literature that supports education in the native tongue or the mother tongue of the child. It helps more cognitive development, and it helps the child in understanding the subjects better. So these are the major mediums of instructions. Not major medium of instruction is English in India, and then these regional languages like Hindi, Tamil, and all these. But the assessment, to make it reflect the whole situation of India, it was done in almost all languages that are being taught in India. Okay, it was conducted at 3 levels, like grade 3 and 5, and grade 8 and grade 10. So primary, secondary, and higher secondary. Okay. And then intermediate, that is 12th class, that was not assessed in this survey. So grade 3 and 5 pe language, environmental sciences, and mathematics, these three were assessed. Grade 8 pe language, science, mathematics, and social science. And grade 10 pe language, science, mathematics, social science, and English. English is the modern Indian language, MIL. Okay. Now what does the report say? The key highlights of the report. It says that the national average of third grade is 59%. The national average of third grader students is 59% of the students qualified this specific survey that was being conducted. It was kind of a OMR based test. 59% of the third graders qualified that test. And for fifth graders, it was 49%, 10% lower than that. 8th graders was 41.9%, and for 10th graders it was 37.8%. That means you can see that as we go from lower level of education, basically primary, to the upper or higher secondary, you can see that the outcomes of learning are gradually declining. Okay, the outcomes of learning are gradually declining. Now, competences in language and mathematics. Students across, the one major observation of this report is the students across the classes have performed well in language. However, they were not as good as they were in language, in mathematics and science. Okay, so there's a gap between the understanding of languages and the understanding of mathematics and science. Okay, that means the analytical skills are not being properly developed. So this is a comparison. Class 3 level पे language में सबसे better perform किया, then environmental science, and then mathematics. Class 5 में language, mathematics, environmental science. Although this gap was merely one numbered gap, but still. English में class 8th में English, mathematics and science, and 10th में English, mathematics and science. Okay, so this was the kind of performance that students had. That means as we move from top to bottom, we can see the students have performed well on language. Okay, and then they are in either math or science. We can say that language, फिर in maths, and then science. Okay, this is the level of performance. Now, social aspects. Across various subjects and classes, ST, SCs and OBC performed poor than their peers of general category. Okay. For instance, while general category in class 8 scored an average of 260 marks in mathematics, whereas a SC student scored 249 marks and ST student scored 244 marks and OBC's 253 marks. Okay, so this reflects a social aspect of that educational survey. Okay, 78% students found online study burdensome. This survey also documents the impact of COVID on the school education system. And since the schools have been closed mostly, the learning was basically online. So 78% of the students felt that it was burdensome to study online. Nearly 80% of students found that the learning was better in class because they had their peers in the class. Okay, they had their friends in the class, and they if they had a problem, they could approach their friends instead of the online section, right? 24% students said that they do not have any digital device at home. That shows the digital divide of the population. 24% student did not had any kind of access to a digital device to perform their classrooms. Okay, and 45% students found the experience of online learning joyful, while 38% of students found it difficult, online learning difficult. Okay, so that is the social aspect of the whole NAS. Now, if you look at the state-wise performances, the Punjab has scored highest in all subjects for classes 3, 5 and 8, and it stands second in the 10th grade. Okay, the Punjab has outshined Delhi. In 2017, Delhi was at the top. Now, however, Punjab is at the top. Telangana, Arunachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh are the poor performers. Telangana, Arunachal Pradesh and Uttar Pradesh are the poor performers. Kerala also remained above the. Kerala is one state which is known for its literacy, rate of literacy. So Kerala also remained above the national average. It was among the top best performance in class 3. Class 3 mein, it was among the top best performance in language and EVS. Okay. So I hope you understood that what kind of a comparison can be made. Okay. Now, overall decline in performance has been observed from the last survey that was conducted in 2017. तो 2017 के बाद से 2021 में we have seen an overall decline. ठीक है, तो I'm not going to read this. If you want, you can pause the video and go through it. It is not something that we need to like understand. It's a very plain fact stated. So I hope you understood कि what is the effect of National Assessment Survey, what is the effect or impact of COVID on the education system, है ना? And now I'll be jotting down the points that we need to look through for this section of current affairs, that is the National Achievement Survey. So the first point is, education is under concurrent list. Okay, education is under concurrent list first of all, and it was brought through 42nd Amendment Act 1976. Okay, second important point is a right to education is a fundamental right under Article 21A. Article 21 is about right to life. Article 21A is about right to education. And Right to Education Act was brought in 2009. Okay, Right to Education Act was brought in 2009, which provided for fundamental right to, basically, which provided that for all the children below the age of 14 years have a right to primary education. Okay, the third point is NAS. Okay, now we come to NAS. NAS conducted by Ministry of Education. Okay. The fourth point is, what is the performance of states? Like Punjab is leading the survey. I believe these all points will do for the prelim section, and we all of course understood through the point of view of mains. Okay.